It's your boy. We're here to do another video. It's going to be on a traditional astrology concept in terms of daytime and nighttime charts and finding out what planets are on your team, and they know what they call as insect, like in your section, insect malefics and insect benefic planets, right? And we're going to find which areas of your life can possibly give you a more of a harder time based upon this concept, and what areas can be more of a strength, right, depending on your chart. So the first thing you need to do in your chart, right, in terms of this concept is seeing if your sun sign is above the horizon or below the horizon. Now, in Hellenistic astrology, they have floating points, meaning that your ascendant sign can range in terms of the degrees it may be in between this first house and the seventh house for the ascendant over here and the descendant over here. Also, in Hellenistic astrology, your midheaven, which is like the MC for dealing with career, and your IC, Imam Coli, that's usually in the fourth house. It doesn't have to be in the fourth house or the 10th house. It could be anywhere from the 12th to the 7th, right? And anywhere from like the 1st to like the 6th. First thing you want to do, let's say that your sun is in the 11th house, right? So let's put the sun right here in the 11th house. This is as an example. Now, let's say we have somebody's ascendant right here is at, we'll say 20 degrees, right? We'll say 20 degrees of, let's say this was a Cancer. No, let's say this was Aries. So it's the glyph Aries. Let's say they got an Aries rising, and this is their ascendant. So I'm gonna put ASC at 20 degrees in Aries. So, being that the sun is above the horizon, and the descendant will be exactly opposite of the ascendant. My bad, y'all. Give me 1 second. So we got over here. This would be Libra at 20 degrees, the descendant. Okay. So let me make sure y'all can see that. Alright, so we got the ascendant at 20 degrees Aries and the descendant opposite of that, which deals with partnerships, relationships, at 20 degrees in Libra. So, being that your sun is above the horizon, which is the ascendant and descendant line, you would be considered having a daytime chart. So this would be the way that you express your personality, right? So this person will have a daytime chart. Now, what this means is that over here when we look at daytime, you have two other planets that will be on your team, basically, right? So the sun is in your team, it's your insect luminary. Then you also have Jupiter and Saturn. These two planets will be on your team. Now, for daytime charts, Jupiter, wherever Jupiter's in your chart, this could be a planet that gives you gifts, strengths, blessings, right? Depending on the house that it's in, and you know what else is going on there as well too. So let's say that, where's my pen at? Give me a second. Let's say that Jupiter is sitting in your 6th house, right? Actually, we'll do Jupiter in the 9th, right? So we'll put, it's the glyph of Jupiter, and this would be Sagittarius, right? So this is Sagittarius, the glyph of Sagittarius, right? So it's good to have that there. Jupiter's home in Sagittarius and it's in the 9th house, right? This house right here will give you a lot of blessings, you know what I mean? Depending on, of course, other things that's going on there. Now, Saturn is also your insect malefic. So being that Mars will be known as your out of sect malefic. So in a daytime chart, Mars is going to be the planet that gives you the most challenge because it's not on your team and it's a malefic planet. So let's say that you had Mars in your 7th house. Alright? And then let's say you got Saturn in your 4th house in Cancer. Both Mars and Saturn are malefic planets. But since Mars is your out of sect, meaning it's not on your team, malefic, 7th house can give you more of a challenge basically, right? You're still going to have some problems because Saturn and Cancer by sign, this would be what's known as detriment. It doesn't like being there because it's home to the opposite sign up here, which would be, this is a Capricorn. That would be right here, right? So 10th sign from an Aries ascendant would be Capricorn. And where you go by whole signs basically in the system. So, all right. Okay. So now we said that you have a daytime chart, right? Let's say if your sun was above the horizon, right? So daytime chart. So you're expressing yourself through the sun. Now, Jupiter will give you the most blessings, right? Now, another thing you got to note too is that you also can get blessings on the houses that are ruled by signs of Jupiter. So basically, Jupiter rules over. See, Jupiter is connected to Sagittarius, so I just put Sag and Pisces. Alright, so Pisces would be in the 12th. Alright, and Sag we said is up here, so it's the glyph of Pisces actually. Alright, so not only would Jupiter give you blessings in the house that it's in, right? It could show more favorable type of energy. And ninth house, you still got to look at the themes. I did a video on the houses and what they represent, or you could just look it up. So if you need to know what these houses represent, but it can give you more blessings. And ninth house matters where you have Sagittarius because it rules over that sign and it's in that house natally, and also in the 12th house matters, right? So that's just something to think about. Now, out of sect malefic, which is giving you more of a challenge. 7th house of relationships, right? Now also, Mars rules over the 1st house. 1st house can be the physical body, so it could be maybe some challenges with that, as well as where is Scorpio? Scorpio is the 8th house. Excuse me, y'all. Give me 1 second. So, Scorpio and Aries. Let's see, so we got Mars. Mars rules over Aries and Scorpio. So you will look for that in your chart if you have a daytime chart. And those could be the houses that also give you challenges, right? Now, another thing is the different houses, it's certain strength basically that it's said that certain houses are stronger than other houses, so the planets in certain houses can weigh or give you more of a effect, whether it be negative or positive, depending on which house it's in. So the angular houses are, we can say 1, 4, 7, 10, right? Angular houses are stronger. You know, you could feel like any planets there, you could feel like more of a 100% impact basically in terms of how you would feel that. Especially if they're near the, you know, the angles, the floating angles in Hellenistic astrology, right? And I'm not a per se Hellenistic astrologer, but I did take a little course on it, so intro course, so I'm just sharing what I've learned. Now, so any planets, right? 1st house, 4th, 7th again, and 10th house, if you have planets there, these could be felt more stronger, especially if they're even in conjunction, which means that they're close to the ascendant or the MC and descendant, depending on where that's at too. But also, you know what I mean, that 10th house, any planets in angular houses, right? Okay, you got Mars over here in the 7th, and you got it's ruling over with Aries here, right? So you're out of sect malefic, so you can have more challenges maybe with your physical body and also in relationships. You may feel this more stronger than what's going on because Scorpio is ruling over that 8th house. Then like this house deals with taxes, debt, intimacy, shared resources. So you could feel that these two houses or the things of these houses may be a bit stronger than this one. This, let's see, the second, fifth, 8th, 11th, those are known as succeedant houses. So let's say that you had your Mars sign, right, in a succeedant house. You may not feel it as strongly in terms of, even though it could be challenges in this area, it may not be felt as strong as if it were in angular houses. You see something? So we got angular, succeeding. I may spell this wrong, so excuse me. If so, we got cadent. This is houses 1, 4, 7, 10. This is houses 2, 5, 8, 11. Then we got succeeding, which is 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay. So, now also we have cadent houses, which are, again, cadent comes after, so it's going to be 3, 6, 9, 12, right? So any planets here, it could be felt less as strong as compared to like the succeeding and angular houses, right? So let's say this Jupiter over here, this is in a cadent house, so it still will give you blessings here, but it may be not felt as strong as if it was like in an angular house, right? And also since Pisces is in a cadent house as well, you can have blessings there, but it may not be felt, the theme may not be felt as strong, or it may not really show up as strongly, or just in general, it may not show up because it's in a cadent house, as opposed to if you had Pisces on the ascendant, or, in the first house, basically, or one of the angular houses. So, now let's go to a nighttime chart, right? Nighttime chart, let's say, let me see if I can erase some of this. These are just examples. So let's say you have a nighttime chart, right? Okay, so you have a nighttime chart. This means that when you were born, the sun was below the horizon. So let's say that the sun was in, say, the third house. The horizon is over here, right? Ascendant and descendant axis, right? So the sun is below that. The sun is definitely below that. We'll do a little line right here so that way you guys can see connection. So the sun is below this horizon as opposed to above it. So this means you have a nighttime chart. So your insect would be the moon, right? So it said that you would express yourself more so through the moon than the sun in Hellenistic astrology if you have a nighttime chart. So with that being said, we look for the planets that are on your team. You got Venus is on your team and Mars, right? So your benefic planet, let's say we got Venus and, say Venus is in your 5th house. All right, you got Venus in your 5th house. So Venus, this 5th house would be Leo, or Aries ascendant. So we got Leo here. And then so basically the houses that Venus, the 5th house and also the houses that Venus rules over would basically give you blessings, right? So Venus will rule over the 7th. We have Libra and Taurus, which is the 2nd, right? Let's see. Let's the glyph of Taurus, right? Now, your insect malefic would be Mars. So now, Saturn for a nighttime chart will be your out of sect malefic, meaning it'll give you more of a harder time. So even Saturn returns or transits from Saturn can give you, it said it can give you more of a harder time. So let's say Saturn was in your, let's say Saturn's in your 1st house. And also, but again, it could be felt stronger because it's in an angle house. But say if Saturn was in your, let's say 12th house, it may not be as felt as strongly because this is a cadent house, you know what I mean? So that's just, some little bit game, little information, Hellenistic concept on planets that are in your team, daytime and nighttime charts. So you can use this technique, you know what I mean? Comment below if you have any comments, and I appreciate y'all for tuning in. You know what I mean? I got more videos coming soon. Holla at your boy.